How's it going, everyone? Alright, so the last video that I did was the send-off of the Brian tie-dye flipper dagger. That send-off was a trade, and in return I acquired a Zermeno Azrael. Now, I owned a Zermeno Azrael several years ago, and it's the same knife that I got back basically, except that the materials are different. There's a couple features that are different. I wish I had made a video of the Azrael that I owned before. And it was a little more plain Jane, and the handle scale, which was supposed to be olive drab green, was more like a green color of something that would come out of your nose in a head cold or sinusitis situation. So, needless to say, I didn't like it, got rid of it. Was bound and determined to get another Azrael without getting on the waiting list, because those fill up pretty quick, and I'm impatient. So saw this come up for trade, made an offer. Now, let me go ahead and share the qualities of this one that I desire a whole lot more than the other one. Let me share those with you. Alright. Let's hope my autofocus cooperates with me here. I've not been happy with it since the software update. Alright, so carbon fiber. Alright, carbon fiber on the presentation side for the scale. We've got, see that? It's doing it to me. Got a decorative pivot right here. This is very nice. I like the pattern on it. Little torque screw for adjustment in the middle. I have an oversized thumb stud with a circular pattern for grip purchase. Pretty big thumb stud. Now, these are functional. You can use the thumb studs on a Zermeno Azrael to open the knife, though the primary means of opening will be the flipper, which is also large and generous for indexing purposes and works as a great finger or hand guard. You can see it's skeletonized. That's just stylistic. I don't see any real reason for that. Let's see here. Moving right along. Trying to get the camera to keep cooperating with me here. You see the blade stock is rather thick. I'm having to put my hand here, guys, to keep the camera focusing. Perfectly centered. And damn you, camera. This makes me not happy. I'm going to go ahead and take the autofocus off, guys. This is annoying me, and it's going to make my video annoying for you guys as well. Okay. So you can see the blade stock is thick. As I mentioned, it is perfectly centered. You can see the pillar standoffs, or barrel spacers, whatever you want to call them, that hold the two scales together in the back there as an indexing point. You can see that is perfectly centered with the point of the knife. You can see the light bars on either side as it's resting in the handle. Alright, you can see jimping right here. Jimping is not a big deal to me, unless it's sharp and it bites into your thumb, or whatever part of your hand is resting on it. These are pretty deeply cut, however, it's not abrasive and it won't cut your thumb in the saber grip. And that's where it falls when you're holding the knife. Can't see it, but this is a bearing system. There are ball bearings inside that pivot on both sides. On the lock bar side, you see we got a stone-washed finish on the titanium. The clip is not deep carry. You can see how much is left exposed out of the pocket here, which is good for a tactical knife or indexing and drawing. It's narrower near the back, and it expands out or flares on both sides, rounding off at the point where you would hook the back of your middle finger, which I'll kind of show you guys. There's 3 holes right here. Those are not necessarily for purchase. They're just pretty much for aesthetics. They look good. Here you can see the inset of the lock bar stabilizer or over travel device. Prevents the lock bar from being bent outwards, which would damage the lock bar and render the knife perfectly useless. Same thing as a Rick Hinderer, I almost said renderer, Rick Hinderer lock stabilizer. Pretty neat. There's the other side, decorative pivot. Alright, the opening. I want to mention right now something that I'm not necessarily thrilled with. I'm going to back the focus out here a little bit to this level. Okay. The detent on this knife is not superb. Okay. If I just hit this just a little bit, it'll break detent and just fall out. The blade will just fall right out. But it's real smooth. The blade is heavy, so I don't have to do much more than just shake a little bit and the blade will just fall closed. You know, a lot of knives that are built well using a bearing system, the blade will, you know, it can swing back and forth, and if you hold it upside down, when you release the lock, it'll creep closed real nicely and then hit detent. This one just falls closed. Needless to say, though, it's very smooth, which is cool. But you need to hit this flipper. You can't just ding, ding, ding. You have to hit it, even there, 3/4. Lock not engaged. Needs a little more motion to get there. Okay. As it comes out of your pocket, of course, alright, as it comes out of your pocket in that motion, yeah, no problem. Okay? And that's good. That's a good thing. And the detent isn't so bad that it's just going to shake loose and open in your pocket. You shouldn't have the blade here in open space in your pocket anyways. It should be nested up against the corner of the pocket so that it's being assisted. The detent is being assisted in keeping the knife closed. That's a topic for another day. Anyways, you do have to hit it decisively. Okay, you can't just ding, ding, ding. You got to hit it decisively. Now, I've heard that Will doesn't make the best detents. Maybe that's an oversight or an engineering deficiency. But I love his knives, so that's just one nitpick right there. The design of this knife is great. The blade shape is similar to a CQC8 by Emerson. I, however, like the swedge up here a lot better. I think the design is more attractive, and I think that this is superior. Having a flipper here is superior. You could even have, like a CQC8 could have a flipper and a wave, and it would still be a great knife. Forgive my dog if you can hear my dog. I believe I have visitors arriving. So anyways, the knife feels great. You have a hand guard or finger guard right here. Your knife is, or your hand is not going to slide up onto this blade. However you want to hold this in a hammer, saber, ice pick, or just standard reverse, it'll serve you well. Feels great. Balance point is right at the finger cutout, which is, let's see if I can rest that, right at the finger cutout, so it's perfectly balanced, just like the other Azrael that I had. The lockup is nice and early. There is no play in any direction. I have one more thing to nitpick here, and I don't know if Will does this intentionally or whether this is a fluke or an accident. It's not a deal breaker for me. Okay, so we have the lock bar side, the presentation side. I don't know if you can see it like this, but if you look over the crest of the carbon fiber, you can see the titanium sticking up. I'm not tilting this. The titanium literally is sticking up higher on the lock bar side than the presentation side. Alright, To focus on that or elaborate, let me show you the back, and you will no doubt see what I am talking about. Let's see here, get the focus correct, and there it is. Is there any doubt in what I'm saying? I would hope your answer is no. Okay, so you can see the titanium is cut out higher. If I close the knife, look at it here, still a little bit higher, but not much. Everything's pretty much evened out at this point. Let's see. Back off here and sit down. I don't know if he did that intentionally or not. So side A and side B are mismatched. However, the blade is centered perfectly. The lock engages perfectly. There's no play. Your grip isn't affected. Most people would have to investigate the knife with a meticulous, not a meticulous, but an observant eye. A casual glance wouldn't really reveal this. Everybody would just think the knife is just badass. And it is badass. Even after discovering this, I still love the knife. I do want to ask Will if there's some reason or some kind of engineering idea behind it. Maybe it facilitates something with the lock bar, or maybe it's tactical in nature, the idea of it, and it's, helps with certain aspects of an ergonomic grip. I don't know. I love the knife. It's a great knife. I'm happy with my trade. I'll still recommend Zermeno knives. Here you go, for all of you who don't know Will Zermeno's contact information. There you go. Now you know. I don't know what the steel is. On the back of the card it has information, or it would have information: model, steel, heat treat, scale, bolster, serial number, and price. I'm familiar with the price of these knives. Is going to be from a retailer. I don't think he does serial numbers. The bolster obviously is titanium. The scale is, the presentation scale is carbon fiber. Heat treat steel, I don't know. The last Zermeno I had was S30V. This could be S30V, or it could be a 154 series steel. If it were something exotic like LMAX or 3V, or one of the higher end, super steels that everybody's raving about right now, I'm sure it would be listed on here. What else? IKBS. There's no IKBS logo on the blade. However, it's definitely a bearing system. I've looked inside the pivot with a flashlight. I can see the little bearings, so confident in that. What else? Okay. Back off here. Get out of the way, Mr. Chair. All right. In the pocket. Show you guys the profile in the pocket. Okay. So let's see. That's how much is sticking out. Not a big deal, right? Okay. The draw, it's pretty smooth. The pocket clip's pretty tight, so when it goes into the pocket, it's a little rough on the pocket material, but still it comes out clean. Bing, there it is. No big deal. You go to work. That's it, really. What else can be said? What else can be said? Nothing. Great knife. You can pay anywhere from anywhere from $300, I want to say, all the way up to sky is the limit into the 6 and 7s, depending on materials. I saw on True North knives with exotic materials, exotic blade steels, exotic handle materials. Damascus, Mammoth, handle, scales, mammoth bone, whatever. All that kind of stuff's available. Base models will sell probably on forums for anywhere from $275 to $350. Nice models like this, $375 to maybe $450. People might ask. I think it's reasonable for a custom knife. And that's it. I'll be keeping this one. As always, thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.